How will the 800-year-old prophecy come true? Which two countries will go to war? Will disasters continue in the wake of the pandemic? Full details of the 800-year-old Hebrew text on Wise Octopus. In our world, which is estimated to be about 5 billion years old, we are looking for peaceful days. However, scientists claim that life has been reset exactly 5 times on the 5-billion-year-old Earth. In other words, life has stopped 5 times before. This is something that, when we think about it at length, really makes you very curious and a little bit worried. In a 5-billion-year-old world, we are now going back not so long ago, but about 800 years ago. In the Middle East, where tensions never end, it was revealed that a text written in Hebrew about 800 years ago predicted the events of today. 800 years ago, a prophet predicted the events we are experiencing today, and even went further and referred to what would happen. So, what awaits us? According to the prophecy revealed in the ancient Hebrew text, America will be drawn into a conflict involving Iran and Saudi Arabia, and the war will bring great strife and darkness to the world. The US and Iran have long been engaged in a Cold War over the sanctions crisis. The presidents of both states have been openly threatening each other. Moreover, the US has recently said that Saudi Arabia was the instigator of the murder of Cemal Khashoggi in Turkey. According to an 800-year-old Hebrew text, America will go to war with Iran. It is claimed that what will happen between America, Iran and Saudi Arabia will bring great darkness not only to the 3 countries but also to the world. The 800-year-old inscription that stunned everyone is based on the meticulous methods used to decipher a code in the Torah. The prophecy appears in Yalkut Yeshayahu, a book published in 1939 based on a section of Yalkut Shimoni, a compilation of Jewish commentaries on the Bible believed to have been put together in the 13th century. Analyzing the 800-year-old Hebrew text, experts say war and crisis are on the horizon. In the 800-year-old text that everyone is eagerly studying, Rabbi Isaac said, "In the year that the Messiah will appear, all the leaders of the nations will provoke one another. The king of Persia will provoke the king of Arabia, and the king of Arabia will go to Edom to seek advice from them. And the king of Persia will destroy the whole world, and all the nations of the world will tremble and panic and feel contractions on their faces, as when they are in labor. Israel will tremble and panic and ask, 'Where shall we go?' And God will command them, 'My children, do not be afraid, for everything I have done for you. Why are you afraid? Do not be afraid. The time for redemption has come.'" Persia, as you know, is modern-day Iran. The phrase, the ancient kingdom of Edom, is often used to refer to America or Western culture. Who could have sat 800 years ago and thought about what is happening today? The 800-year-old ancient text brought to mind Baba Vanga, the most famous seer of the last 100 years. Bulgarian seer Vanga predicted the September 11th terrorist attack on America 12 years in advance. The 44th President of the United States, the next president after George Bush, will be black. This will be the last leader America will see. Because shortly after the black leader takes office, the country will enter a major economic crisis. However, after Obama, America also saw Trump and Biden as presidents. Baba Vanga's prophecies for America include, there will be conflict between the northern and southern provinces. Indonesia will get involved. All this will start the Third World War. The atomic bomb will be used for the first time in the Third World War. He also claimed, according to the famous soothsayer, 2043, a Muslim state will once again be the sole ruler of Europe. 2046, there will be no organ left untreated. The diseased organ will be replaced by a new one. 2076, a classless communism system will be established all over the world. 2088, all diseases will be cured in a few seconds. 2097, rapid aging will be prevented. 2167, a new religion will emerge. 2304, the mystery of the moon will be solved. Could this be real?
Anatolia is a geography that has hosted many cultures and civilizations throughout history and is remarkable for its rich civilizational heritage. The folk tales and mythology of these lands are full of interesting and sometimes creepy creatures, often passed down from generation to generation by word of mouth. In this documentary, we take an in-depth look at Anatolia's legendary evil creatures and the stories that are said to have happened about them. The Wife of Al. In Anatolian culture, it is a being known as Wife of Al or Wife of Red. It takes its name from the color al, meaning red, and is generally believed to wear red clothes or have red hair. Believed to live in nature, the Al wife is usually seen in forests, mountains, or near villages. According to some beliefs, the wife of Al is actually Lilith. It is believed that Lilith was Adam's first wife and that she refused to be subject to Adam because she was created at the same time and was therefore cursed. The wife of Al, the fearful dream of every mother in Anatolia, is the product of an ancient belief dating back to shamanism. This frightening creature is said to haunt purebred women and newborn babies, even feeding on their lungs. Ways of protection include not leaving the purebred woman alone, keeping the lights on, placing a Quran on her bedside table, and covering her face with a red cloth. In the past, in many villages of Anatolia, stories are told about keeping vigil by the side of purebred women throughout the night. In a village in Anatolia, it is said that Al-Karisi came to the house of a woman who had just given birth at night and disturbed the purebred woman. The woman wakes up in the middle of the night and sees a shadow with red eyes in the corner of her room. The next day, the woman identifies this shadow as the wife of Al. After that night, the villagers begin to keep vigil next to the purebred woman. After this incident, the villagers recite prayers around the house for protection. In another story, a newborn baby in a village suddenly disappears in the middle of the night. His family and the villagers start looking for the baby, but there is no trace of him. The next day, a red cloth is found on the baby's bed, which is attributed to the work of the wife of Al. Isini. Isini is an Arabic term meaning the plural of jinns and is generally known as bogeyman in Turkish. This entity, also written as Isini or Isini in Anatolian culture, is generally accepted as an evil and supernatural being. According to folk beliefs, Isini are malicious beings that can have negative effects on people's lives. There are different beliefs about the appearance of Isini, but they are usually depicted as ghostly or creature-like. In some accounts, Isini are said to be mixed beings, such as half human and half animal or half human and half jinn. Isini are generally believed to have malevolent tendencies such as harming people, transmitting diseases, bringing bad luck or haunting houses. For this reason, various traditional measures are taken among the people to protect themselves from these beings. Their most frightening feature is that if they hit a person, the person they hit turns blue and dies. In some villages in Anatolia, it is rumored that people struck by the Isinis suddenly become ill and mysteriously lose their lives. According to legend, in a village in Anatolia, a mysterious disappearance of household items took place. Some of the items are later found in a very different part of the house. The villagers believe that the Isinis are playing with the objects and moving them around. Such incidents reinforce the belief that Isinis infiltrate people's living spaces and mock them. In another legend, on a winter night, a cold wind suddenly blows through a family's house, even though no windows or doors are open. This wind suddenly lowers the temperature inside the house and the family members start to feel cold. The family believes that this is the work of the Isinis and recites prayers to protect the house. Wednesday wife. In Anatolian culture, there is a folkloric evil being called Wednesday wife or Wednesday mother. Wednesday wife is usually depicted as an old woman. It is thought that she wears old and traditional clothes or has a veil on her head. It is believed that the Wednesday wife gets angry at the work started on Wednesday night and therefore does evil to people. In the villages, it is sometimes said that the work that people started on Wednesday night suddenly breaks down for no reason and that this is the work of the Wednesday wife. According to the legend, in one village, a work started on Wednesday night caused various misfortunes to befall the family in the following days. For example, family members have minor accidents or household items are unexpectedly damaged. This is interpreted as Wednesday wife's bad luck. In another story, it is told that in a village in Anatolia, strange noises were heard and dark shadows were seen inside and outside the house during a work that started on Wednesday night and continued late into the night. These noises and shadows frightened the people doing the work and caused them to quit the next day. The villagers believe that these events are a warning from the Wednesday wife. Demurternak, iron nail. This creature, called Demurternak or Demurterpanak in Anatolian culture, is a legend or folk tale character, usually told in villages or rural areas. It is usually covered with feathers, has long fingernails, and has nails or fingers made of iron. Believed to live in the mountains of Baygadik in Çanakkale, Turkey, this creature can take on any disguise and emits unbearably foul odors. However, it has a weakness against water. It cannot harm someone who comes into contact with water. Stories are told among the people that those who encounter this creature living at the water's edge are saved by pushing it into the water. In one story, there is an incident in a village in Çanakkale where bad odors spread at night and animals disappeared the next day. The villagers interpret this incident as the work of Demurternak. According to the story, the creature came to the village, scared the animals by spreading bad odors and kidnapped them. A story is told of a hunter who encounters and struggles with Demurternak in the forest. The hunter is attracted by the creature's foul odors but eventually chases it towards a stream. When the creature touches the water, it disappears and the hunter returns to the village to tell his story. How true do you think these stories are? Tepegöz, Cyclops. A common monster in Turkish mythology and Dede Korkut tales, Tepegöz feeds on human flesh and it is almost impossible to harm his body. His only weakness is his eye. In the tales, heroes are told to aim for his eye in order to defeat this creature. According to the legend, there is a period in a village when animals and sometimes people disappear at night. The villagers believe that a terrible monster with a huge eye is behind these disappearances. The belief that this monster is the Tepagaz spreads rapidly among the villagers. A brave young hero emerges to protect the village from Cyclops attacks. The hero devises a plan to trap the Cyclops and target his only weakness, his eye. At the end of the story, the hero succeeds in defeating the Cyclops and saves the village. Another story tells of a dark and deep cave where people rarely enter and where it is believed that the Cyclops lives. Rumors circulate in the village that this cave contains the remains of Cyclops victims and footprints of gigantic size. Gulyabani, Ghoul. Gulyabani, also featured in Kamal Sunal's unforgettable film, is depicted in Anatolian legends as a half-human, half-monster or ghostly creature that feeds on human flesh, has a long beard and is covered with feathers. It has features such as pale skin, large eyes, long nails and crookedly elongated limbs. He challenges hunters and challenges them to deadly wrestling matches. The winner survives, while the loser ends up dead. The ghoul is also a creature that uses people's fears and weaknesses to frighten them and can take different forms. Ghouls usually appear in deserted places and in the dark. In various parts of Anatolia, a story is told of a group of hunters who encountered the ghoul while hunting in the forest. The ghoul offers a wrestling match to one of the hunters. Depending on the course of the story, the hunter either survives by winning the wrestling match or loses and dies. In another story, a shepherd is said to encounter the ghoul while guarding his sheep at night. The ghoul does not harm the shepherd, but takes some of the sheep. The shepherd's account of this incident in the village reveals a belief that the ghoul is only looking for food rather than directly harming people. Karabasan, the boogeyman. In Anatolian cultures, the Karabasan, which descends on people during sleep and gives them nightmares, is considered an evil entity. It appears at night because it is afraid of daylight and has no concrete form. Victims of the boogeyman feel a heaviness descending on them and have difficulty breathing. According to the legend, the event that happened to a person who lived in Anatolia is as follows. While the man was sleeping at night, he suddenly experienced an event in which he could not move and felt a heavy weight on him. When he opened his eyes, he saw a dark shadow in his room and attributed it to the Karabasan. The next day, the villagers believe that it was an attack by the boogeyman and recite protective prayers. A similar legend tells the story of a young man who woke up in the middle of the night to see a dark shadow in his room and felt it coming towards him. The young man lived in fear for a long time after this, and the villagers attributed this to the visit of the Karabasan. A family tells the story of how Karabasan often comes to their house and the family members have bad dreams. The family hangs prayer papers in every room of the house to protect themselves from this, and they say that this method works. Jermakosi. Jermakosi, who lives in the northern region of the Black Sea, means mountain man in Laz. Jerma in Laz means mountain and Kosi means man. This horrible creature, which is believed to live in the eastern parts of Rize province, has monkey and human characteristics according to Laz beliefs. It is believed that Jermakosi, who lives in the forests, protects nature. In the region, various stories are told that Jermakosi traps and eats people who go hunting. According to local rumors and legends, often with elements of horror and mystery, a story is told of a group of hunters in the eastern Black Sea region who got lost while hunting deep in the forest and never returned. The villagers believe that these hunters were captured by Jermakosi and fell victim to the cannibal. This story shows that Jermakosi is seen as a dangerous and frightening being. In another story, a shepherd encountered Jermakosi while grazing his animals in the forest and was terrified by the creature's frightening appearance. The shepherd managed to escape at the last moment, and when he returned to the village, he told the story. Karakankolos. Karakankolos leads people to panic with its frightening appearance. It is believed that in order to be protected from Karakankolos, who is described as a being dressed in black, covered with feathers, with a black face and red eyes, it is necessary to answer his questions with the word black in them. In some villages, it is said that those who answer Karakankolos' questions correctly are saved from him without being harmed. It is said that in one village, on one of the coldest nights of winter, a man encountered Karakankolos while looking for something outside. Karakankolos pursued the man in a frightening manner, but the man bravely answered his questions with answers that included the word black and thus escaped the creature. Hurdik. In Turkish folk beliefs, Hurdik is regarded as an evil creature with half-human and half-animal appearance and backwards feet. It is said that this creature disguises itself as people's acquaintances, deceives them and takes them to the forest to harm or kill them. It is possible to protect against this creature by lighting a fire. People who suspect that the person they are talking to is Hurdik are said to pass fire around their bodies or under their feet. It is said that in the old times, fires were often lit in the villages near the forests, and this way they were protected from the Hurdiks. According to one story, in one village, a man who went to the forest to collect firewood never returned and disappeared. Search efforts were fruitless. The villagers thought that the man was deceived by Hurdik and got lost in the forest. Hinker-munker. It has a human-like appearance and, like a kangaroo, carries its young in a pouch on its belly. It kills and eats the people it catches. Most interestingly, it is said that the only way to get rid of this creature is to urinate on it. Stories are told that those who encountered Hinker-munker survived with this strange method. According to a rumor that has survived to this day, there is a story about children who got lost while playing in the forest. It is believed that these children were kidnapped by Hinker-munker and became victims of the creature. After this incident, villagers refrained from sending children alone in the forest. Another legend tells the story of a hunter who encountered and fought Hinker-munker. At the last moment, the hunter gets rid of the creature by urinating on it. This story reinforced the belief that Hinker-munker has a weakness. Şamaran. Şamaran is a mythical creature in Turkish mythology, Anatolian and Middle Eastern folklore, depicted as half woman and half snake. Şamaran stories often contain elements of wisdom, healing and mystery. The love story of Şamaran and a young man is widely found in mythological narratives. The story of Şamaran and Jamsab is a legendary tale with themes of love, wisdom and sacrifice, which occupies an important place in Anatolian and Middle Eastern mythology. Although there are many different versions of this story, the most commonly told version is as follows: Jamshab is a young and curious man. One day, he goes to a cave with his friends. In this cave they find a secret passage, and Jamshab discovers a mysterious and fascinating underworld at the end of the passage. Here he meets Şamaran, a wise and enchantingly beautiful creature with a human upper part and a snake lower part. Şamaran sees Jamsab's pure intentions and good heart and begins to teach him the secrets of the underworld. Over time, a deep bond develops between the two and love blossoms. Şamaran teaches Jamsab about medicine, natural sciences and philosophy, so that Jamsab becomes very knowledgeable and wise. After a while, news arrives that the ruler of Jamshab's village has fallen ill and can only be cured with the flesh of a snake. Jamsab is forced to use the flesh of Şamaran to cure the ruler. Şamaran, in her love for Jamshab, understands this situation and is willing to sacrifice her own life for the sovereign's recovery. Jamsab takes Şamaran's body to the ruler and the ruler regains his health. Jamsab becomes a very wise man, but he feels the pain of losing Şamaran in his heart for the rest of his life. In Anatolian culture, these stories have survived to the present day by being told by word of mouth, from elder to younger, from generation to generation. These stories are not only part of legends and mythology, but are also recognized as important cultural heritage reflecting the culture, beliefs and lifestyle of Anatolian people. Do you think such creatures really exist? Or are these stories just legends told among the people? We look forward to your comments. If you like our video and would like to support us, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like our video and share the channel link with your close circle. See you in the next video. Goodbye.